Okay, so next job for DIY lists is this bedroom. I call it bedroom number 2, the second biggest. So it's coming in the doorway. It's got a little corner piece there where the bathroom is. So the bath's here. And then it's almost a square. So what I've got planned is I'm going to do something a bit different than what I've done in the other rooms. Not really different, but properly probably. I don't think this room needs much to do. Like, it's got a couple of screw holes where there was I don't know what they had in the wall, pictures or maybe a shelf or something. A couple there. There's one there. The curtains have been put up properly this time. I can't remember if it's this room or not, but they didn't put the centre in the centre, and they're all wrong now. So my curtain pole is really good. It's level, it's in the right place, but I'll take it down. I'm going to leave them curtains up just for now, because you can see they're ruined by black water out the radiator when the radiators were changed. So I've got some new curtains to go up. Just I'll leave them on for now. It doesn't really matter if they get dirty or dusty. And then when I do take them down, I take the curtain pole down, I'll get some cardboard or bin bags or something to tape onto the windows, because as you can see there's houses and stuff out the front, and I don't really want to be painting and stuff in the window when people can see me, but I don't want to have the curtains on so they get dirty and dusty. So what I'm going to do is first of all just go around the room with the scraper and a little screwdriver, and I've loosened off the light switch, and I'm going to take all the paint off the light switch. What I'd normally do is just loosen it off like that and then just paint around it, but this time what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to tape it up. And I'm not going to tape it up because I'm not going to get paint on the light switch, but I do know that when I'm rolling the ceiling and up here, it does flicker onto it. So once I've cleaned it once, I'll then tape it up, just to save me having to clean it and clean it and clean it. So that's one thing I'm going to do differently. I don't normally do tape. With the other rooms, I noticed that I was sanding, filling, and making mess and mess and mess. So what I'm going to do this time is make all the mess in one go. I'm not going to bother hoovering up and things like that until I know I'm definitely ready to fill it and get started and stuff. But I don't think it needs much work doing. I can see on the ceiling there's a bit of a bump there, so I'll give that a bit of a scratch first of all. But I don't think it's that bad. I can get away with just giving a light little sand. There is one thing wrong, that hole there where a loft guy doing insulation put his foot through the ceiling, I think, and he's done a mess filling that up. So I'll give that a good sand, and then I might need some more filler on there. But you can just see that line there where someone's just painted 2 different colours. Down here you can see it's just, look at that, that's like 2 different colours, isn't it? I've just noticed over here they've had a white and then just left it there. Oh, you can see here now, so they must have had this, I don't know where they've done it, but they must have had this wall plastered, because I can see there's not much of a lip there at all on the skirting board. There's a bit more of a lip, so they probably had that wall plastered. I've said this before on the other rooms, I'm not going to go crazy sanding the skirting boards. I did give them 1 lick of paint before I had the carpet fitted, but what I'll do is I will, so that is satin on there. I don't know if there's any gloss or anything underneath, but that seems to be okay. It's stuck, so I can do satin on top of satin, so that'll be okay. So I'm not going to go crazy sanding it, even though there's all these lumps and things, because them skirting boards are just from 1980s or no, 1949 probably, when the house was built. So it is what it is. I can't get it too good. They're not brand new skirting boards. They're not like the patterned one anyway. So I will give them a bit of a sand, maybe, just to knock off the major bumps, like any big paint drips or anything. But I'm not going to go crazy filling them and getting them perfect, because they're not perfect. Then I will put frog tape along the bottom of the carpet, and I will give them a lick of paint, because they will look brighter when they got a couple of licks of paint on. You'd be surprised how dull they'll look once I paint all the walls. But yeah, you can just see there's lumps everywhere, so I can knock them off with the scraper. Then I'm going to give it a go over with the sander. You can see up here more colour differences, more lumps, another patch there. And you can see when it's sunny, obviously when the shadow hits them bumps, they just look worse. So the idea is it's going to be white, white, white. Ceiling's obviously white. I've got a couple of different whites. I've got undercoat paint, so if I need to sand it and it goes down to a different colour underneath. I've seen an old photo, so I think this room was pink at one stage. It looks like there's a pink in there, a deep pink. So if I do sand it and it goes down to a different colour paint underneath, I might do a coat or two. I think that's a little nail. Might do a coat or two of primer first. That'll help coverage. And then it's going to be white and them three walls. But I've got a trade mat. I've also got a wiper ball paint. And then I've got a small amount of just cheap matte paint, not trade. Maybe this left wall, I'll do it with the wiper ball, because as you come in the room, that's where you're going to be touching the door with your arm here. So I might do wiper ball paint on this side. Then that wall there, it was quite expensive to buy the wiper ball in the blue I bought. So instead I've gone for just a silk on that wall. So that's going to be the wall with a headboard on it. So you're not really going to walk past it and mark it. But silk should be slightly better to wipe down if you do get fingerprints on it. And then this wall and this wall, whichever paint I've got left, just the matte probably. You'd be surprised how big the ceiling is, so it might take a fair bit of white paint. So, but it should be quicker than the actual smaller rooms, because when you've got a small room and it's got loads of corners, and if you've got a cupboard or something, you've got a lot of cutting in to do. This is easy though, because it's just one straight cut in there, a long straight cut in there, straight cut in there. But I'm doing white anyway, so cutting in will be just easy. And then it's only one blue wall there. So because it's white and white, that'll be easy. Haven't got to take my time really on the skirting board, because I'll do that white anyway. I'll put tape on the bottom. I've got 2 sheets, so I can just spread them out better. It's when you've got a small room, you've got to move things around. You've got to move the ladder more, you've got to just move things around all the time, and I find that bigger rooms are quite easy to do. So another thing I'm going to do, which I forgot to do a couple of times, is I'm going to completely gut the room. I think I had done already. There's nothing left on the windowsill. I left a Yankee candle on one window once, and dust went into it, and I thought it'd be fine, but there's a little tiny gap between the candle and the glass, and the dust fell inside it. I've got cobwebs here anyway. I can't take this light shade off because it's built in. The only thing you could do is undo it there and take it off, but then it'll be no light. So what I'll do is just cover it over with a sheet or something when I paint around there, and then I'll just have to dust it. I won't get paint on it, but I'll dust it. But apart from that, there's a bag of rubbish, dust sheet, ladder, there's my sander. I've completely wrapped the bed in the middle with a sheet. The curtains I'll take off, as I said, when I'm painting, but for now it doesn't matter if they get dusty. And with that sander there, instead of using the big orbital sander I've got, which would be better actually, but well, that's a smaller one, it'll take longer, but it's got you can see there the hole there for the hoover. And when I did the last room with the hoover, it's not zero, but very small amount of dust will be left in the room. I don't need goggles, don't need a face mask. You might see a little bit of dust in the room, but it's not bad. I might still hang some sheet up and tape myself in the room, because if dust gets outside, it's going to go in the bedroom, down the stairs, it's going to go in the bathroom and everywhere. So there's the mattress outside. I might still put a sheet over the door, tape it right outside. If you put the window open, sometimes you'd think that the air would suck it out and you get a fresh air out. It doesn't. The air blows in and you end up blowing the dust in the house. Even if it's hot and you're sweating, it's better off just keep the windows shut all the vents and everything, because you just end up getting dust in the house. It'll blow all down the house. If you've got a window open downstairs, it'll cause a draft all the way through the house, but it'll settle somewhere on your black sofa or carpet or floor. So I'll leave the window shut. And I can see from here and that as well, the last person, they painted, instead of cutting in across the top of the window frame there, they decided to paint the window frame as well. I think they've done it in every single room so far. So I have got some paint stripper. There's another one I've seen really good on this other painter guy's videos, Peel Tech. So the other rooms, I've left the paint on the window, said I can do them another day, but this time I'm going to get it all off first, if I can, because otherwise if I go back to it, start spraying Peel Tech and accidentally goes on the window, you're going to have to paint again. But it's not too bad if I just do the windows inserts. I can always touch them up a little bit, as long as I've got a little paint left. But a couple of the rooms is a bit of a pain. You're trying to scratch it with a scraper or a Stanley blade, but you end up scraping and scratching the window frame. Well, that looks quite peely, so it might come off quite easy. But like I said, I've got some paint stripper stuff. I might give it a go. But again, I'm going to do that first, do them a prep first, and then only paint when it's all done. So I've only made a mess once. Window frame, windowsill, I don't think it looks that bad. But again, the last room I did 3 coats on it and I did sand it a bit. But once you've done the wall, you don't want to be sanding again, because then your electric sander might slip and touch your wall. So mess it up. Once you've done your caulking and things like that, you can't sand really over your caulking, it'll ruin it. So I'll do all my sanding, all my filling, all my sanding, then do my caulking and priming and things, then paint. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. More lumps and bumps there. Not major, I don't think. I'm going to be very careful, very mindful, because I know that in my bedroom, my hallway with the stairs on it, and the last bedroom I did, when I got the scraper out and I was going around the rooms scraping all the lumps and bumps off, paint peeled off, and then ended up being the whole wall peeled off. So I don't know who's done these walls. A couple of walls have definitely been plastered again, but I'm guessing that whoever's plastered has, well, they painted over bare plaster without doing a mist coat, because the paint just hasn't stuck at all. Another thing I've just noticed now, that skirting board is different. See how it's like a curvy, smooth skirting board, and there's a curvy, smooth skirting board there. They ran out of skirting board here, but they put something different in. Why is that? Below here, there's the kitchen. Maybe they've done something up here. Yeah, so touch wood, I won't have to do any peeling all the paint off the wall, because that took ages. I can see there, it is cracked. It's an old house, but I don't want to be peeling the whole paint off the wall again. That just takes days and days and days, because you start off, it peels off easy, so you think, oh, I might as well peel it all off. And before you know it, you get to a harder bit that doesn't peel off, but you've already gone so far, you have to do it all. So hopefully it's just knocking the lumps off and then sanding it, and then basic paint. So yeah, that's the job for now, and I'll probably keep you updated with photos and more videos.